The future is uncertain. You can dream and plan, but anything can happen. Some days it feels like you're on top of the world. Other times it can feel like you haven't caught a lucky break for months. A chance encounter intertwines the opposite lives of Josee and Sueno Suzukawa. Wheelchair-bound since birth, Josee is strong-willed but secretly afraid of the outside world that isn't built for her to thrive in. Sueno, also a strong-willed character who has had the opportunity to build his confidence through scuba diving, a passion that shaped his life goals. Together, they create a tragically beautiful story of resilience. Josee the Tiger and the Fish flips the typical see the world from another person's perspective story on its head. It's all parallel. Starting with the meeting of the main characters, Sueno just started a second job and is trying to find it. He never makes it, and probably quits it because instead he happens to round the corner as Josee is careening down, unable to stop her chair. Her wheelchair catches on an uneven section of pavement, and she flies out of the wheelchair, landing only slightly softly on Sueno. This is only the first instance of Josee's chair getting stuck while causing her to take a tumble, this time because a kid pushed her, which is kind of wild. Every time after that, though, when Josee falls out of her wheelchair, it's because she's experiencing something new and hasn't learned to navigate it yet in her own way. I noticed she tended to have near spills when she's trying to be overly independent or isolating herself, pushing her small support system away. As someone who's had a hard time asking for help, I related Josee's falling to my own failings that could have been avoided if I relied on more than just myself in a half-watched YouTube video guide. Josee falls face first into the sand during her first excursion to the beach with Sueno because she's never been on that terrain before. She doesn't take another tumble the whole time Sueno is with her, helping guide her to find her confidence. The moment Josee starts to push him away after her grandmother dies and she's alone, convincing herself she doesn't need anyone, she gets caught on a crack in the concrete and starts to tumble. The person who catches her wheelchair is the love rival Mai, which is awkward and uncomfortable. The next time Josee falls from a crack in the concrete is when she's dramatically trying to get away from Sueno, and it changes everything. Under the care of her grandmother, Josee is constantly reminded the outside world wasn't built for her and she'll get hurt. She is also babied, with Josee's grandmother informing Sueno that she can't even pour her own glass of tea. Josee's grandmother barely wants to take Josee out on walks, declaring the world is just too dangerous. I think this line of thinking is what gives Josee her rebellious streak. Sueno mentions alternatives to help Josee adapt and do things in her own way, like keeping drinks in water bottles instead of pitchers. He breaks through Josee's stubborn independent facade slowly by taking her out around town to experience things she's just never had the chance to experience, like the beach. The beach inspires Josee to paint, and Sueno and Josee bond over their love of the ocean. Sueno is independent, working 2 jobs to achieve his dream of being a marine biologist. He's trying to get a scholarship to study abroad in Mexico. He is exactly what Josee needs to break down her walls because he's broken down his own, being an independent person who's worked hard to create the life he's dreamed of. The dream is forced to be put on hold when Sueno is hit by a car while trying to chase Josee and get her unstuck from her crosswalk. The story takes a rough, heartbreaking turn from here, from a cute romance to absolute tragedy. Sueno's ankle is destroyed from a compound fracture, ripping scuba diving away from him. His passion, it's just gone. He's bedbound, and now in a twist of fate, he's in Josee's shoes. And when faced with losing everything he's worked for, he gives up. Seeing Sueno shut down after being a rock for the whole manga hurt a lot. You watch his light fade in every single panel so slowly, and I could feel it in my soul. He's now wheelchair bound, and unlike Josee, who's wanted to leave her home and see the world, Sueno shies away from it, locking himself away instead. It's very different for him. Josee has to step up and bring his confidence and independence back to him. For her, it's like looking into a mirror of the past. She sees her old self, and it's scary to see that in the person who inspired her. Josee throws all of her fears away to help Sueno find himself and bring hope back to his life. I enjoyed seeing Josie's gradual growth from being nearly unable to speak to a librarian to reading her own hand-painted children's book to a group of children and Sueno during story time. I think this gesture was so meaningful to Sueno because he could see how much Josie was struggling. She was still afraid of being in front of so many people and showing off her art, but she would scale mountains for him. The whole story was a love letter specifically to Sueno about how he expanded her world. The book is also a symbol of Josie achieving her dreams, just how she watched Sueno do. She wanted to sell her art, but it didn't seem like a stable career path, and it would have been a lot on her physically. She moved past her own self-doubt and already has so much to show for it. The manga perfectly captures feelings from facial expressions, especially between Josie and the love rival Mai. Every time the two interacted, they looked uncomfortable and uncertain. From one glance, they both knew they were in love with Sueno, and neither knew who he was going to pick. There's a silent standoff between the two. The relationship between Josie and Mai is complicated for rivals. Mai has the guts to ask Josie to let Sueno go after he starts to feel like he needs to give up his dream to stay and continue assisting Josie. Selfishly, Mai creates the rift between Josie and Sueno because obviously Josie doesn't want Sueno to give up anything for her. Mai actually confesses her love to Sueno, and it is met with such a cold, icy response. The most interesting aspect of the rival relationship between Mai and Josie is how confident Mai is that she knows everything about Sueno. When listing those things, they're all surface level, like Sueno's terrible at splitting disposable chopsticks, which, like, me too. Josie, in turn, yells that she knows his personality and his spirit. She knows him on a completely different level that Mai could never understand. It's a messy rivalry, and I really, really enjoyed it. Josee the Tiger and the Fish is a gorgeous manga. The cover art looks like a painting, and the 2-page spreads are show-stopping. I pause at each one, taking in all the small details. Anytime there was water in the scene, it was especially beautiful. At the beach, diving, I could feel the love the artist Nao Emoto has for the beach. I've never seen the movie, but from the trailer, it looks just as beautiful, even more breathtaking in color. I especially love how bouncy and thick Josie's hair is. It feels like it's part of her personality, which makes such a silent statement when she cuts it later. Following your dreams is rarely easy. It can be even harder when you throw the everyday struggles on top of it. Josie and Sueno drew the extra short straws when it came to life tragedies. Josee the Tiger and the Fish shows that with the right support system, you can overcome anything and achieve your dreams. Looking at life from another perspective is always easier with an extra set of eyes looking for ways to help you succeed. The manga is a big yes for me, and now I want to watch the movie to see the gorgeous panels come to life. Thank you for listening to the Strawberry Loft podcast. If you'd like to hear more, head to my channel, hit subscribe, and feel free to browse. You can also find me and my thoughts on anime, manga, and more at Strawberryloft.blog. Until next time, keep yapping about what you love.